Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie and today I'm going to be doing a first impressions and eyeshadow makeup look using the I Love Makeup Chocolate and Peaches palette, which looks like this, and it's meant to be a dupe of the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. So this palette retails for $9.99, whereas the Too Faced Sweet Peach retails for £39, so quite a price saving. So I thought it'd be quite fun and interesting to do a little makeup look with this palette that's nice and affordable and able to create something that looks similar to a Sweet Peach palette. So if you do like this video, do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll get started with the tutorial. So to begin with, I've already done my foundation, my lips, and the only thing left to do is my eyes. I will link below my full foundation routine, which I've done a video on before, using the Hourglass foundation, as I really love that. And you guys can watch that if you want to see how to create the base section of this makeup look. So this is the palette, and the packaging is very cute, little hearts, and it says you get 16 shimmer and matte eyeshadows. So let's just open that up. So I did get mine from Superdrug, which is very handy. So the packaging looks like this. It looks nice and peachy and like a chocolate bar. And I will just open it up inside to show you what it looks like. So basically you get a very sizable mirror actually, which is pretty good, and you also get all these shadows, and you get a little applicator as well, but I pretty much won't use that. So the names are with a film over them, so they don't actually have the names under each one. That would probably be better if they did, because then once you take this off you're not going to remember the names of the shades. So we've got some matte light, we've got two big ones, which I know is different than the Sweet Peach palette, and I don't think this palette, no, this palette doesn't smell of peaches like the Too Faced Sweet Peach does smell like peaches. So yeah, we've got the very pale matte shades, which will be good for transition colours, and then we have some shimmers and a greeny one and some dark, and then the sort of peachy brown shades. So what I'm going to do is I will do the makeup look using this palette, and then at the end of the tutorial I'll swatch each of the shades so that you guys can see, if you want to go out and buy it, what that actual shadows look like and how well they swatch. So to begin with, I'm going to take my Morphe M441 brush, and it looks like this, and I'm going to go in first of all with that matte light shade, the very big one, and I'm just basically going to fluff that onto the whole eyelid, so that we're just sort of, I have already set my concealer on my eyelid with some translucent powder, but I'm just going to go on top with that over the eyelid to further set it. Then guys, I'm going to go in again with that Morphe M441 fluffy brush. I'm going to go in with this beigey shade, which is the other big eyeshadow that's sort of like double size one, and I'm going to put this into the crease. So this is just a good transition colour. It looks nice and pale, but a little bit more than my skin tone. So my first impressions of these shadows are that they are blending out very easy on the eye, which is nice. I'm then going to go in, I realise these do actually have names, so I can tell you the names. So that last one was Satisfy. The next shade I'm going to go in with is Fine, which is this brown, matte brown shade, again with that fluffy M441 brush. And then we're going to put this in the crease to build it up. So the thing I like recently has been sort of using a Morphe Fluffy 441 brush to basically start with the light shade and then build it up, keeping it on the fluffy brush. I've been really using these natural hair fluffy brushes actually a lot more recently, because they basically don't pick up as much product because they are natural hair. I still do love my Sigma Blending E40 brush that looks like this, which is synthetic. But I've been really loving the natural hair ones because it just gives a very soft eye look, which I really like. So that is that colour done. I'm then going to go in with, which shade? I have to keep putting this little cover on to find out which one it is. The next shade is Luscious, and it's like basically a warm sort of heathery brown shade. So we're getting, again with that same brush, we're just going to build it up. We're going to focus that on the outer corner of the crease and keeping it low down in the eye. For you guys who are regular viewers of my channel, you may notice that I have toned my hair, so it's back being more silvery, ashy blonde. So hopefully it'll last a little bit longer and it'll gradually wash out. So if you keep watching my videos, you'll sort of see my hair getting lighter and back to blonde. But I really like this colour. It's really nice actually. So I'm going to go in next with the shade Peach, which is just a peach colour, and I'm going to basically change brushes now. I'm going to go for the Morphe 433 brush, which is smaller, and I'm going to put this in the crease but bringing it a little bit over the eyelid as well, so sort of at the edge of the crease across the lid. Oh, that's a beautiful colour, really nice. I really like that peach shade. Next, with my Real Techniques base shadow brush that looks like this, I'm going to go in with the shade above peach, which is the pink shimmer, which is called Soft. I'm going to basically, I'm trying to get and use quite a number of the shadows for this makeup look, because when you've got palettes, I always think you might as well use more to create a makeup look if you can. So we're going to pop that onto the centre of the eyelid. Oh, that's lovely. That's got a little bit of shimmer to that. And sort of a little bit of a gold reflex. Very, very fine grained glitter. It's not like chunky glitter. Then I'm going to go back in with the Morphe 433 brush, and I'm going to go in with one of the browns, which is the shade Rich. And this does have a little bit of a shimmer, but I think this will be not too glittery, so hopefully this will look good. So I'm going to pop that on the fluffy brush, and we're going to basically just keep that in the outer corner so that we're building a very nice and soft diffused smoky eye. Then I'm going to go in with my Sephora number 15 shadow brush, and I'm going to take this light golden shade, which is called Sweet. It's this one, and it's just basically a shimmery gold. That's what it looks like, so very light gold. So we're going to pop this from the inner corner across to where we put that pink shade, and then I'm going to go in with that number 1 big light one, which is, what's it called, Delicious. Again with that Sephora number 15 brush, and I'm going to use this matte light shade as a brow bone highlight, as I really like highlighting the brow bone but prefer to have it more of a matte highlight. Then on a Morphe E18 brush, I'm going to go in with that brown shade, which is shade Fine, and I'm going to put this on the lower lash line. And then I'm going to warm it up a little bit with the shade Luscious with the same brush, which is the brown shade next to it. And this is just a little bit more of a purpley undertone. I'm going to, again, just put that on top of where we put the shade Fine. And then I'm going to go in with my Sigma E25 brush, which is a more dense head brush, and I'm going to go in with that brown shade Fine. We're just going to pop that in the outer V just to really make sure that the lower lashes really are smoothly blended with the top eye look. Guys, then with the flat definer brush, I'm going to go in with the dark brown shade on the bottom row, which is shade Keen, which is their darkest brown in the palette. I'm going to pop this along the lower waterline so that we're really just defining the lower lashes even more. So that is the eyeshadows done. I really am impressed with these shadows. The pigment is really good, and getting all those shadows for only £10, very impressed. To finish off the look, I'm going to go in with Makeup Forever black aqua eye pencil into the waterline on the lower lashes. And then I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Eye Studio Lasting Drama Gel Liner for 24 hours in black, and I'm going to take my E65 small angled brush from Sigma, and I'm just going to pop a very thin little liner on the top lashes. So that is the eyeliner done. I'm going to go in with some Benefit Roller Lash Mascara on the top and lower lashes, and I'm also going to pop on my Allure Luxe Cameo Faux Mink lashes, which basically are little 3/4 style falsies, and it will just give a nice winged out look. So I will link below my video on how to apply false lashes if any of you need any top tips on how to apply lashes. So I'll pop those on and come back to you. Hey guys, so the lashes have been applied and this is the finished look and review of the I Heart makeup, which I think is owned by Makeup Revolution. They're owned by the same company, I think. The eye look was really easy to create. The shadows blended out really nicely, and I think you could actually create a lot of different looks with this palette because you can create that sort of soft peachy makeup look like I've created today, but you could also create more deeper purples. You've got a little pop of green and a sort of tealy bluey purple colour, and then a sort of dark greeny black shade. So I feel like it's actually quite diversified palette with the sort of pinkies, but then could do a really good neutral look as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with how the eyes turned out, and think it's actually a great palette for $9.99. You can create daytime looks or evening looks, and I think actually anyone who hasn't tried this palette, I would actually really recommend giving it a go. So I'm definitely giving this palette a thumbs up. I think the shadows are lovely quality, great pigment. There wasn't much dropout at all when I was blending, and I was using quite a few shades. So I will go ahead and do some swatches. So let's start with the first shade. So the first shade is the Delicious. I'm just gonna keep this little sheet out so that I can remember. So this is the shade Delicious. It's the matte shade, and how am I going to do this? I'm going to swatch this on my arm and then we'll show you. So that is the shade. It's a very light matte shade. Then going across the palette, you have the shade number 2 on the top row, which is Fruit. So it's a more of a metallic-y shade. Oh yeah, that's kind of like a rose gold shade, so that's number 1, number 2. So it's like a bronzy rose gold. Then we have number 3, which is the pink on the top row, and it looks like this. And I'll just swatch you that. So that is the pink shade. Then on the top row, the next shade is shade, this shade, and it's called shade Chalk. And it looks kind of like a greeny shade, so yeah, it's like a greeny metallic shade. That is what that looks like. It's kind of a greeny with little bits of glitter in it. The next shade on the top row is the shade Delight, which looks kind of like a kind of black shade, and it again looks metallic-y. Oh yeah, that is black. My hands are so dirty, but yeah, it's the one in the middle. That is it, nice and black. Then on the next row we've got that shade Sweet, which is the light goldy shade, and I did use this on my eyes. It's lovely, it's got a lot of pigment, which I like. So it's sort of a nice shimmer colour. Then the next shade across is Candy on the second row, and it again is metallic. Oh, that's lovely. It's like a rose goldy bronze, really, really nice. Next shade across from Candy is shade Rich, which basically looks like a metallic brown, but actually it's got some good shimmer and really good pigment on that. Then the next shade across is the peach shade on the second row, and that is the peach, which I also used on my eyelids. It's like a nice orangey peach shade. Then across from that is the shade Taste, which is a shimmery purple, which is just there. So it's kind of purpley brown shade with little bits of glitter. Then the next shade across from that is shade Nice, which looks like a navy shade. So that is the shade Navy, which is called Nice. I realise I'm running out of arm space when swatching. I think my first time swatching a whole palette while doing a video. The next shade now we're on to the bottom row, and the first shade here is a matte shade and it's called Lush. So that is the shade there. It's very similar to a skin colour. And then the next shade across, which I used in the tutorial, is the shade Fine, which is a brown shade, just a matte brown, and that's it there. Then we've got the next shade across, which is Luscious, and it's more like a purpley brown shade, and that is that shade there. Then we have the shade Keen, which is a darker matte brown, and it looks like that. And then the last shade of the palette is the big one on the bottom row, which is called Satisfy, which is a matte beige, light beige shade, and it is there, so very close to skin colour. So from all the swatches, you can see that the pigment is really pretty strong. And then on the mattes, they have still good pigment, but I would say some of the shimmers maybe have more pigment than some of the mattes, but still great pigment for the price, I think. So guys, that is the finished video today. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope if you guys do go out and buy this palette that you'll let me know. And I do have social media if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Stephanie_Hempel, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Stephanie Hemp with a H too. I link these all below as well. And then also on Snapchat, it's Stephanie7H. Yeah, I hope you guys have really good weeks, and do subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!